Can't get enough of that knowledge whale. Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. A multimillionaire named Forrest Fenn has hidden a treasure valued between $1 to $3 million in the Rocky Mountains. And in order to find it, you must solve his riddle. So far, no one has done it or found the treasure. The director of the 1980 horror film Cannibal Holocaust had to prove in court that the actors were still alive and didn't get killed during the movie. There is a 10-year-old girl named Esther Akkad who is already enrolled in university and has the highest exam scores in her class. She mastered algebra at the age of 4. The rarest wildcat in the world is the Bornean bay cat. Only 12 have ever been captured and studied between the years of 1874 and 2002. That's one every 10 years. At the time of this recording, Stephen Hawking is 73 and was diagnosed with ALS at the age of 21, meaning he has outlived his life expectancy by over 50 years. Chennai Shinapur is a small village in India with 300 buildings, all of which have no doors in their doorways. These people leave their homes, businesses, and schools open at all times under the belief that if anyone does anything dishonest, that they will face 7 years bad luck. In 1883, the body of a bear and a man named Frank Devereaux were found dead side by side with the ground around them thrashed. It's believed that the man and bear fought to the death. There are over 500 different ways to cook potatoes. In fact, a recipe book on it was put together by former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev's wife and was gifted to Britain. It now sits in the British Foreign Office. There is a bottle of vodka that costs $3.75 million and is filtered through sand made from crushed diamonds and gems. A study concluded by the Journal of Positive Psychology concluded that 2/3 of humans have no idea what they're good at and what their strengths are. In 2014, Beyonce made about $3.65 US every second. The Pixar team came up with the concepts of WALL-E, A Bug's Life, Monsters Inc., and Finding Nemo all over a lunch break in 1994. There's a floating stage in Singapore that sits above the water that can bear the weight of 9,000 people. It's used as a soccer field, concert stage, and place of celebration. Istanbul has a vending machine that releases food and water for stray dogs in exchange for recyclable bottles. The first animal to ever ask an existential question was from a parrot named Alex. He asked what color he was and learned that he was gray. Researchers at the University of Montreal have concluded that everyone has the potential ability to be a good singer. It's a developed skill that gets better with practice and worse by lack of use. There's an infrared device that exists that detects the locations of medical patients' veins and projects them onto the skin. The Kaiku Abaratsu Marine Park in Japan has tiny holes in the otter enclosure which allows visitors to shake hands with these animals. For the past 3 years, Ohio police have been on the lookout for a serial pooper who has pooped on at least 19 cars. Someone needs a hobby. A group of pandas is known as an embarrassment. There's a town in Alaska called Whittier where almost everyone lives and works under one roof. Inside of a 14-story building, there's a police station, school, 2 convenience stores, and also a bed and breakfast if you want to make a visit. In 1948, the committee responsible for awarding the Nobel Peace Prize chose no one, stating there was no suitable living candidate, mostly as a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi, who was assassinated earlier that year. The word bae, which is popular in North American society, is actually the Danish word for poop. Think about that next time you call your girlfriend bae. Aw, you my bae. You can tell identical twin babies apart by their navels, since the navel is a scar and isn't caused by genetics. Soviet diplomat Vyacheslav Molotov is thought to be the only man to ever shake hands with Stalin, Lenin, Hitler, Himmler, Göring, Roosevelt, and Churchill, and is also the inspiration behind the term Molotov cocktail. In March of 2015, a Georgia teen was arrested for stealing a goat, later confessing that he had planned on asking a girl if she would goat to prom with him. Womp womp. Since 2011, there have been at least 4 incidents in America of people cooking meth inside of a Walmart. Have you ever seen the people of Walmart? That does not surprise me at all. The Wright brothers only ever flew together once in 1910. This is because their father feared losing both sons in an airplane accident, so he gave them special permission just that one time. There exists a series of 21-meter-long concrete arrows from San Francisco to New York City designed to direct aerial traffic that exists from the pre-digital days, originally installed in 1924. Psychopaths are only capable of perceiving the positive consequences for their actions as opposed to any negative ones. Actor Sean Bean is so terrified of flying that during the filming of Lord of the Rings while shooting in remote mountain locations, he traveled via skylift and walked the remainder of the journey all in full costume. Until 1987, all surgeries performed on infants were done without anesthesia under the belief that infants were not capable of feeling pain. Yikes. In 2012, a man sued Pepsi after he found a mouse in his Mountain Dew. However, Pepsi fought and won the case, proving that any mouse would have dissolved inside a can of Mountain Dew after 30 days, and that this can was purchased 74 days after being manufactured. Yeah, think about that next time you drink some Mountain Dew. Railroad tycoon George Pullman's family were so worried that former employees would desecrate his corpse after death that they buried him at night in a pit 2.4 meters deep under layers of steel reinforced concrete in a lead-lined casket. Until 1974, it was actually illegal to appear in public in Chicago if you were ugly. There is a doctor in Nepal named Sanduk Rit who has restored vision to over 100,000 people in the developing world. A research paper from 2013 concluded that Harry Potter fans tend to be more open to diversity, politically tolerant, less authoritarian, and less likely to support the use of deadly force or torture. You can be criminally prosecuted for making death threats written entirely in emoji. If you were to commit suicide in Japan by either jumping in front of a train or killing yourself in your apartment building, the train or building company will actually sue your family for cleanup fees, loss of income, and negative publicity brought upon them by your suicide. In 1992, thousands of plastic yellow ducks broke free from a cargo ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and for the past 23 years, these ducks have since turned up in locations all over the world, and they have even been used to track ocean currents. Research conducted at the University of Stanford concluded that a racially diverse group has the ability to solve problems more effectively than a group with only one race in it. If you watch any classic Clint Eastwood film, you will often see his character smoking like Dirty Harry, despite the fact that Clint never smoked habitually in real life and actually practiced healthy dieting and meditation since his youth. In South Korea, children under 17 are blocked from playing online games past midnight, which is monitored by their KSSN, the Korean Social Security number. On April Fool's Day in 1989, billionaire Richard Branson designed a hot air balloon to look like a UFO and hired a dwarf in an ET costume to come out and scare whoever was near it when it landed. The band Blink-182 incorporated under the name Pennywise Poo Poo Butt Inc. so that their accountants, managers, and attorneys would have to say that when doing business. That is hilarious. When James Bond actor Daniel Craig first ran off with his current wife Rachel Weisz in 2010, he actually had a fiance at the time, and when she found out, she spent $1 million on his credit line in revenge. Robert Hubbard was executed in 1666 for starting the Great Fire of London by claiming he threw a firebomb through a bakery window. However, this was despite the fact that he was heavily crippled, the bakery had no windows, and it was proved at his trial that he wasn't even in the country at the time. Jennifer Lopez's common nickname in parts of Hong Kong and China is Lord of Butt. 65% of smartphone users download 0 apps per month. I am not part of that 65%. Pharrell Williams was fired from 3 separate McDonald's restaurants when he was 17 for being lazy and stealing McNuggets. He later teamed up with Justin Timberlake to create the jingle, "I'm Lovin' It." And now you're smarter from the knowledge whale. My friends, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like, and be sure to click the links in the description, which will subscribe you to not only this channel, but also my vlog channel so that you never miss a video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon!